Hey, what's up, YouTube? So I am actually at home base and doing a little babysitting with Caitlin, and we are going to put on the smoker 2 racks of baby back ribs. So I'm sitting around and I'm like, I haven't done another cooking vlog in a while since we did the pork chops. I thought since we're at home base and I am using a smoker, I'd go ahead and put this up for you. So I've got 2 racks of baby back ribs, and one of them I've already got prepared. The second one I'm preparing now. Those of you that have maybe a weak stomach, you might not want to see this, but you need to do it anyway. I'm just kidding. It's no big deal. But I take the ribs. Yep. I take the ribs and on the back of them, on this back membrane. You just want to take that, and it comes up really good once you get it started, and I take that and just peel that straight off. That way, once these are smoked and cooked, that's kind of what it looks like, it's not on there anymore. And those ribs are just fall off the bone, and actually the bone comes completely separated if it's done right. So my method for smoking these is a 3-2-1. It smokes for 3 hours. Then after 3 hours, I take them off. I wrap them tightly with a little bit of apple juice or apple cider. You can use any type of beverage that you want to. I've used beer before. But you wrap that up real tight in an aluminum foil, and then I'll put them back on the smoker for 2 hours. Take them off after 2 hours, unwrap them, put them back on with your favorite barbecue sauce, and let that glaze over just a little bit, and then they're done. Take them off, let them rest for about 30 minutes. That's pretty much it. So after you've got that membrane off, I'll take my Popa's rub, and I put on the back, and I put a very large helping on the back. Don't really let that rub in. I'll let that just sit and let the meat absorb. Kind of give you an idea of what that looks like when I say I just let it absorb. If you take a look, you'll see I've got one done on top, and it had a lot of seasoning on it. I let that just soak into the ribs or the meat itself, and then that's the one we just did, and that's on the back. We'll flip that one over and do it again with a little bit more seasoning. Normally what I will do is let that sit, and then I'll clean this, make sure the smoker's ready to go, clean it out. In fact, we just did a brisket not too long ago, so that needs to be cleaned out. And as that's sitting, it's going to bring that meat up to close to room temperature, which is where I want it. I don't want to shock the meat. I don't want to go from a cold environment and then throw it into the smoker at 225 degrees and it shocks it. When you shock meat, it tends to stiffen up on it. Think for yourself. If you jump in a pool where it's 100 degrees outside and you jump in one that's 50 degrees, not more or less a pool, but a lake or something like that, you kind of just tense. That's what the meat does. You don't want to do that. So I try to bring it at least up to room temperature, so I'm not going from one extreme to another extreme. Now, something else that I'll do while we're bringing that meat up to temperature, I'll take 2 reasons. I've got 2 dogs in here. As you can tell, I've got a husky that she already is trying to learn to jump on the counter. Hi, Caitlin Nicole. Morning. She's already trying to start to jump on the counter. So what I will do is kind of push this back off the counter, and then I would do it if I had dogs or not had dogs, but I also wrap that very loosely in aluminum foil and kind of just let that sit, like I said, while I get the smoker ready to go, and I bring that meat up to room temperature. So guys, what I will use to put over the top, it's a Reynolds wrap, it's a non-stick, and I put that right over the top, and it lifts off. It's not sticking to my food. So That's what I'll use. And then when I wrap my the ribs, when we do the number 2 step, remember I said it was a 3, 2, 1. On the number 2 step, I'll also use this, and it's heavy duty. So guys, what I'll usually do is on these ribs, I use a 3, 2, 1, 3 hours to smoke. You can use the wood of your choice. I usually use a mix of mesquite and hickory. It's just the flavor that I like. You can use any wood that you want. Hickory is usually better with pork, where mesquite is better with beef. Again, it's just the flavor that I like. But the 3, 2, 1, 3 hours to smoke. I'll take it off after 3 hours, wrap it in tin foil or the non-stick Reynolds wrap that I showed you, and then I put that back on there with, you can use apple juice, apple cider. I've used beer before. Today I'm going to use a mixture of my marinade that I usually use on my briskets and stuff. I'm going to use a mixture of that, and then I'll put the directions on that marinade down in the description. But I'll put that in there, and then I don't put anything over the top of it as far as any more rub or anything. I will do a layer of barbecue sauce when we get to the 1 step, the 1 hour step. So wrap that up at the 2 hour step, wrap that up, and then I'll put it back on the smoker and let it smoke for 2 hours, and then take it off after the 2. Open it back up, take it out of the non-stick Reynolds wrap, and then I'll put whatever your favorite barbecue sauce is, put that on there, and then put the ribs back on, not wrapped in Reynolds wrap, for an hour, and let that kind of glaze over. After the hour is done, I'll take it off. I usually let it rest for about 30 minutes, and then they're ready to go. Hey guys, I promise you it's not on fire. We're just now starting the smoker up, and it'll smoke a lot at first, and then I get my flame going. Hope you guys can see that. Yep, there it is. I just take this little dial, and I'll usually turn it starting out to about 400. It gets any residue off the grates, and so I've got clean grates when I start. I do use a steel brush before I start smoking, but this kind of just burns any excess off. Anyway, we'll close that lid, let that sit, heat up to about 400, and then I'll bring it back down. Once I hit 400, I'll bring it back down to about 225, but not about, we will bring it down to 225. It's a great thing about having a pellet smoker. It maintains the heat, it maintains the temperature. The only thing I've got to do is just make sure that I've got pellets still in there. Next thing we do is put the meat on. We still helping Popa? As you helping Popa cook? Alright guys, so we've got our smoker right at 400 degrees. It's been sitting at 400 for about 30 minutes now. I've been taking a steel brush and getting a lot of the excess from when we did the brisket. So we're gonna go back out, close the fire pit. So only thing I'm really getting is just heat and smoke, and we'll change that temperature down to about 225, let it drop down, and then I'll put the ribs on. So we're back at it again. We've got our temperature down to, it's reading 235 right now. And by the time I open this up, get the ribs settled onto the racks, it's actually going to probably drop below that 225 mark. So I think we're safe to go ahead and put the ribs on. Again, I smoke at 225, 3 hours. Take them off, put whatever liquid that you would like in, wrap it very, very tight like you would a Christmas present in Reynolds wrap and heavy duty, and then I put them back on. We'll smoke them for another 2 hours. Take them off, unwrap, glaze over with your favorite barbecue sauce, and then smoke for 1 hour. So let's begin the process. So we've got our ribs on, and what I'll do is, you know, I can take these ribs and really spread them out. I don't. I condense them down. I put them away from the heat. The heat source is going to come out of that. So I get it as close as I can, or far away as I can from the heat. I'm going to go ahead and close this lid because there's a lot of smoke coming out, and I don't want to waste that. But they're on the grill, or in the smoker, and we'll see them again in about 3 hours. Is you cooking with Papa? Huh? Is you cooking with Papa? What are we cooking? Are we gonna have some ribs tonight? Ribs and French fries, and maybe we need to go get Caitlin some applesauce. Caitlin loves applesauce. Well, she can eat some French fries. She got 2 teethies working. One about in, and she's cutting the other one. So Miko's trying to get her cleaned up. We had a little pancake for breakfast, and she's helping Papa cook the ribs today. Right? So we're about an hour and 15 minutes away from our second step, which is step 2, and that's our 2-hour wrapping, marinating, and putting back on the smoker, and then that'll smoke for 2 hours. Came out here, just want to make sure I always come back out. Especially with the wood pellet, yes, you can set it and forget it, but you got to make sure you got wood pellets in. We're doing really well. We've got a 5-gallon container, and set at 225. Go through a lot of pellets at one time. Something that is tempting to do. Don't, and anything that you're smoking, don't lift the lid up. It's tempting. You want to see, well, what's it doing? How does it look? You know what? At our 2-hour mark, we'll open it up and we'll know how it's doing there. But let it smoke, let it cook. Every time you lift that lid up, you let it heat out. So we're coming up on our end of our 3-hour mark, and I'm just getting things prepared. Put our ribs down. Again, what I'm using is just a Reynolds wrap non-stick, because I don't want the ribs to stick to it. Use a regular wrap, regular aluminum foil. Sometimes when you wrap that up as tight as we're going to wrap it, exactly, and Caitlin's putting her 2 cents in, but when you wrap it up as tight as what we're going to wrap it, it tends to pull some of the rub that I've got on there, and I don't want that. So we use the non-stick, and I'll show you how to do that, or how I do it here in just a second. So we've got our liquid mixture
and it's no big secret, so I don't know, I'll show some of it as I was making it. The only thing I use soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce. I have no idea if I said that right or wrong. A1, but I use a thick and hearty A1, and then a little bit of red wine. And I'll mix that up. This is what we're going to actually pour on our ribs, or actually in our ribs as they're wrapped up, and that'll kind of give them a little bit of flavor, plus it keeps them moist during the second part of our three-step process. Remember, 3 hours. We smoke those for 3 hours. 2 hours, we take them off, wrap them really tight like a Christmas present, put our marinade in there, or whatever you want to use. Let those let them cook for 2 hours at the same temperature at 225. Then after the 2 hours, 1 hour, we'll take them out, unwrap them, and put your favorite barbecue sauce over the top of it and get a nice glaze, and that'll sit for an hour in the smoker, and then we take those out. I usually let them rest for about 30 minutes, and we're good to go, and we're eating. So when you wrap these, you want to wrap them extremely tight after you pour your marinade in, or whatever you're using as far as your liquid. I use 2 layers for the simple reason I have the big sheets of aluminum foil, or the non-stick aluminum foil. Then those will go back into the smoker, and they'll cook for another 2 hours at 225. So we've got those wrapped, and now we're about to take them and put them back onto the smoker. We've got them back onto the smoker. They're wrapped up. Honestly, if you've got a grill, you can stop putting wood in it. Again, it's not going to come through that foil because my grill is my smoker. I just filled it back up with wood pellets, and it's going to have to smoke. But anyway, you're still getting the same effect. Still staying at 225, and we'll cook it that way for another 2 hours. So our 2-hour mark has been reached, and we are on our way to take our ribs off of the smoker. Take them off, unwrap them, put our favorite barbecue sauce on top, let them glaze for that next hour. Here we go. Ribs after we've unwrapped them out of the foil. Guys, this is the barbecue sauce that I like. You put whatever that you want on there. The only thing that you need to do is just take with a brush and just spread that barbecue sauce on there. You're going to cook it for let it smoke again for an hour, and then you will have a little bit of a glaze, and your ribs will be done. Guys, we've got our glaze on there, and we're about to put them back in the smoker and let them smoke for 1 more hour. And then we'll be done. Well, our alarm just went off on our 1 hour mark, and I'm going out, taking them off the smoker and bringing them inside. Stand by, I'll let you see what they look like. Okay, we got them off the smoker, and they are inside, and we are ready to eat. I'm not going to dwell too long. I want to eat. They look really good. Again, 3-2-1, 3 hours to smoke, 2 hours in your favorite applesauce, apple cider vinegar, whatever you want to use. I used a marinade, and then wrap them real tight like a Christmas present. Put them back in for 2 hours. After 2, bring them out. Put your favorite barbecue sauce on there and let them smoke again at 225 for 1 hour. Guys, that's it. And that's Cooking with Papa on how to do ribs.